Okay, Ms. May, would you like to take attendance?
Okay. Let me go back to that. Okay. Chair Housewright. Vice Chair Blair. I'm here. Commissioner Rubin.
Here.
Is Mr. Barrett online? I don't see him. Mr. Bering.
Here.
And Mr. Reed.
Here.
And I think we are still missing McGregor and Cardin, but we do have a quorum.
All right, thank you, Ms. May. We've got a set of meeting minutes from our previous meeting of March the 5th. We have edits to those minutes, or do we have a motion to accept them as written?
So moved.
Thank you. Thank you for that motion and that second. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Thank you very much. March 5th minutes accepted. We are dealing with one agenda. Good morning, gentlemen. Come on in. Mr. McGregor, Mr. Cardin just joined us. This morning we're dealing with one agenda item. This would be DCA 212-008, Development Code Amendment to consider developing appropriate standards associated with impermeability, permeability, pervious and impervious surfaces, including but not limited to definitions, paving, surfaces, materials, and applicability. I believe Ms. Levy has a presentation. You want to take it away?
Thank you, Chair Housewright. Good morning, ZOAC committee members. Let me just pull up my presentation. Is that showing? Looks like it is. Okay. Delay. Sorry about that. I'm getting a delay. Okay. All right. So this morning, what I'd like to do, we're going to go over background and history, purpose, the issues, fairly quickly, and then we'll get into the proposed recommendations, some case studies, and the next steps. So the City Plan Commission authorized staff to do a public hearing on July 22nd, 2022 to consider amending chapters 51 and 51A of the Dallas Development Code to consider developing appropriate standards associated with impermeability, permeability, pervious and impervious surfaces, including but not limited to definitions, paving, surfaces, materials, and applicability. And as you can see on the right, staff has conducted a series of meetings over the last year and a half or so, meeting with staff department, internal departments, our external partners as well, and then finishing up in the last month with this, 2 public listening sessions, same session, but held on 2 different days. So again, the City Plan Commission requested us to initiate the code amendment to limit impervious coverage for both residential and non-residential lots. And by limiting the impervious coverage, it aligns with several of the city's plans and policies. And these policies are direct us basically to reduce flooding and the heat urban island impact that's exacerbated by the impervious surfaces. And one thing that spurred CPC's decision-making to initiate this code amendment is a picture on the right, actually, whereby you can see that the entire lot here is impervious surface. And the document described conditions for stormwater runoff and concerns and the heat island effect, as well as concerns for compatibility with existing front yards of residential lots. So, you know, what we're doing here and what we think we're bringing forward to you today is code requirements that align with our CCAP, racial equity plan, and other city plans. Again, with an emphasis on goals to reducing environmental impacts of flooding and the heat island effect. And also, we believe addressing compatibility with existing neighborhoods. So some of the concerns, again, and the picture that we saw before was a lot more localized. And I know, you know, citywide, whenever we get hard rain, we see these issues of flooding. And again, the flooding concerns are exacerbated by these impervious surfaces because the stormwater runs off. It can't, doesn't have a chance to infiltrate into the ground, into the soil. And of course, you know, we're experiencing hotter days, as we know, than we have in many, many years. And that is due to a lot of our surfaces, the dark pervious surfaces that we have. In the photo on the right, the temperature was taken at 160 degrees Fahrenheit on that surface. So again, issues, the broad issues, or the flash flooding caused by that lack of infiltration into the rainwater into the soil, pollutants from the stormwater runoff that go into the rivers, water quality degradation caused by stormwater runoff, flooding, more flooding events, and destruction, of course, of property, wildlife habitat, and ecosystems. Scorching heat, what's happening is that heat is getting absorbed by the dark surfaces, and then it's getting released into the atmosphere later in the night or later in the day, causing higher temperatures that we're mostly very much experiencing in urban areas from that heat being trapped. Health issues also from the heat-related issues, air quality issues. You know, obviously, we have health issues with flooding too, but air quality issues with fewer trees that help filter the air that we breathe. In this, the photos I have here give you a real good view or a real good perspective on the differentials that we're having with our impervious surfaces in the neighborhoods. The photo on the left is a 4-car driveway for duplex, and versus the top right photo where there's a 1-car driveway for each of the duplexes. And then on the bottom right, you could see a ribbon driveway for a 1-family home. So as you can see, that the ones on the right are, you know, quite a bit more pervious than impervious. Okay, so the proposed code amendment. The definitions that we have for the code amendment, what we're saying impervious coverage means is a percentage of area that is covered by impervious surface. And then impervious surface is a surface that prevents or impedes water from recharging groundwater. And that condition, by definition, we're saying can be caused by numerous things. Could be structure, paving. Note that we've included pavers, compacted soil or gravel, or other features that form a barrier between precipitation and the Earth's surface. So what we're saying is, just because you have pervious paving that's put down, it still may be considered by the ordinance now an impervious surface, because if it's not designed appropriately, which our engineering department will always reviews that for our 2019 drainage design manual, then it would be considered impervious. So it's going to be anything that does not allow the water to recharge groundwater. We have required maximum impervious coverage percentages for both residential and non-residential. On the residential side, the maximum impervious coverage percentage would be required in the front yard only. This is for residential, and that will be 40%, except for the agricultural district, which would be 30%. And that's due, of course, to the rural nature with the larger setbacks. At the bottom, you'll note fantastic hand drawings by a very talented Don Raines in Planning and Urban Design, who is showing here a single family 50-foot wide lot with a 25-foot required front yard setback. So that gives you the area that we're concentrating on of 1,250 square feet. When you take 40% of the 1,250 square feet, you get 500 square feet of impervious surface that you're allowed. And there's a myriad, of course, designs that you could do in order to achieve that. In this particular drawing, what he's showing is a 15-foot wide driveway, and then you still have a walkway. These are concrete blocks, but you have a walkway that, with an entryway as well. And then on the right, you'll see if you, if you do a ribbon driveway, if you have a ribbon driveway in the front yard, that allows you even more flexibility and more paving for other, additional pathways and a larger entryway patio area in the front yard. So that's just, some examples of how that can be achieved. On the non-residential side, maximum impervious coverage percentage is 80% for parking areas only, and except on parkway streets. And on parkway streets, any lot abutting a parkway street would be 60% maximum impervious coverage. And again, below you can see this is a drawing with showing just that 20% reduction of impervious surfaces, meaning the impervious coverage is at 80%, or surface is at 80%. And as you can see, that's, there's still quite a bit of concrete there for the driveways, and most of the parking spaces is just some modified parking stalls basically. In our next drawing, this is showing on the residential side a 40-foot wide lot with that 25-foot required front yard setback, giving 1,000 square feet of area that we're concentrating on for the impervious surface coverage requirement. That gives you 400 square feet of impervious surfaces in the front yard. And here it's showing a driveway, narrower driveway with a concrete pathway out to the street. You can see you have a patio type area, entryway. Then again, if you design a ribbon or have designed a ribbon driveway, that gives you even more square footage basically to have larger entryway, patio area, and walkways. And then on the right, this is just showing an example of the 60% maximum impervious coverage. This would again be on the parkway streets, and I will explain that in a minute what that means. But as you can see here, you've got some modified driveways with some pervious grass surfaces just for 12 feet, and then, some additional parking style pervious improvements. Okay, so for the parkway streets, what we mean by that, the street typology per the Complete Streets design manual. There's the Complete Streets vision map on the right, where the The parkway streets are in the dark green, and as you can see that in the pop out here, and the green star, that's Bachman Lake. So that street on Northwest Highway, that stretch of street right there is considered a parkway street. And the parkway streets follow our vulnerable watersheds in the city where they're flood prone, and that's why we're proposing a little bit higher or greater percentage of protection for those at 60% impervious coverage. This is just another section of our watershed with the parkway streets, the Trinity River watershed. And you'll see portions of Canada, Riverfront, and East Grand Avenue and some others in the photo here. Another one, White Rock Lake, of course. I know, we see flooding issues a lot around White Rock Lake. So the streets here in East Grand and some of the other streets here are considered parkway streets. Again, those would be maximum of 60% of the non-residential and impervious surfaces. Also for the code amendment, for residential uses, there are opportunities for a maximum 5% additional impervious coverage for any of the following, and that will be a total combined of 10% maximum possible. In the photo here, this is a rain barrel. A fairly easy solution. Super symbols in the way. I have a footnote down here. So additional impervious coverage percentage does not apply to lots abutting parkway streets. So those stay at the base for both residential and non-residential. And I'll say that again in the next ones. But so also for the 5% additional impervious coverage opportunities, maybe some pervious paving. In the photograph on the left, you see brick pavers for townhomes. And then the photos on the right, single family homes with the basalt stones in the front yard. And then a maximum 10% additional impervious coverage opportunities exist for, on the residential side, would be your greening factors. And like the photo on the left, you see a lot of rain gardens and trees. And then the photo in the middle, additional trees, and these are above and beyond what's required. And then on the right, there's a rain garden. They happen to have also the basalt stone here too. But what we're looking for is the greening factors. The nature-based solutions offer more benefits, and that's why there's additional opportunities at the 10%. So just to go back, so what that would mean is if a residential use were to wanted that additional 10% additional impervious coverage, and it qualified for this, they could then go 50% of impervious coverage in that front yard because 40% is the base. Unless, of course, they're abutting a parkway street and then 40% is the max, they would not be eligible for additional. For the non-residential uses, also the opportunities exist or available for maximum 5% additional impervious coverage for any of the following with only they could do more than one, but the combined total of 10% would be max. And so that would be pervious off-street parking areas. You see the photo on the top is pea gravel parking area. I believe that's the Arboretum parking or in that area, some overflow parking. And then you have in the middle photo various pervious materials for pedestrian pathways, and then the turf block on the right for parking spaces. Then water management techniques to conserve and recycle water. So you have your cisterns that, collect the water, your overlay and flow, and disconnected downspouts. Then the third row, you see the cool off-street parking area coatings, lighter paving techniques, and then other methods that would reduce stormwater or the heat island effect. And in the photo, you see a green vegetative roof. That's actually our canopy. That's really over bicycle parking in this photo. And then a blue roof in the middle, and PV panels on the right. So for 10% maximum 10% additional impervious coverage opportunities, you have green infrastructure techniques that would be your rain gardens and your bioswales, plantings abutting all off-street surface parking areas. The second row, the photo on the right, I believe that was provided by our ZOAC committee member Reeves. And what we're showing here, what he showed this photo to us for was, and this is out of state. I want to say it might be Arizona. I can't remember exactly, but if you notice, the landscape area is immediately adjacent to the parking lot, but they have a lot of shade trees that are shading that sidewalk to give that comfortable walk. And of course, the landscaping here, what would qualify for that additional impervious coverage would be what's shown in the photo on the left, meaning what's immediately adjacent to the parking area. Of course, the sidewalk and the landscaping to the left of the screen, that's public right of way, so that would not be included necessarily. And then you have your solar PV trees or solar panel trees. Those are just canopies over parking areas. In this photo, they happen to have EV charging also below the those canopies, so that's even more benefits, obviously. Solar coatings, those can go on the surface, and then solar farms. And then lastly, in this series of photos, within the interior of the site, meaning behind the buildings, if they have the parking in that location and they do pervious materials, like shown here, it could be the pervious material. That could be a variety of materials. The one in the middle is actually pervious paving. And then you have the turf block on the right. So any of those, if they're internal to the site, would qualify or may be eligible for that 10% additional. And then 10% additional impervious coverage for multi-use green or open space that's occasionally used for off-street parking, more like overflow parking that you see here. Some of the other code amendments, we're adding language to allow a greater or lesser percentage of impervious coverage in the neighborhood stabilization overlays so that they can modify according to that neighborhood's needs. And then, of course, Article 10, our landscaping ordinance, we're revising some of the definitions to align with these new definitions. And of course, clarifying that compacted soil will be considered impervious surface. That's something that is in the definition now, and that will help with the landscape ordinance. Site plan review for the development impact review, site plan, I'm sorry, we're revising several of the terms there to align with this ordinance. And then the urban corridor districts, we're removing the permeable surface area requirement that's in there now so that the new regulations would apply to all the districts, so they're not treated differently. So how does this affect my property? If the if your property is existing and developed, then there's no effect. You know, as far as this ordinance on, if you do nothing to the property. For new undeveloped property, the ordinance would apply on the effective date if it's approved by city council. For redevelopment, if it's a residential development, the ordinance applies when the cumulative area of impervious coverage is increased more than 200 square feet in the required front yard. And then if it's non-residential, the ordinance applies when the cumulative area of impervious coverage is increased more than 2,000 square feet within a 24-month period. Excuse me, that's a similar, that language is actually used also in Article 10 for landscaping ordinance. So we're keeping that similar and compatible. If you have planned development district, historic district, or conservation district, there's no effect. And I would say unless, for instance, in a planned development, the regulations refer back to the development code and don't have any other standards at all for that. The code amendment aligns, this code amendment now aligns with many of our city plans and policies again, and I just have some, you know, how it's plugged in for the Complete Streets Design Manual. Reduce impervious setbacks and frontage is in that manual. Include environmentally sustainable solutions. I won't read all of these, but CCAP, it checks boxes on many goals, and then of course our comprehensive plan. There's, to reduce the percentage of impervious surface areas where appropriate, and then incorporate green infrastructure practices into land use and development. And you can see in the list here we have them here, providing incentives. So I'd like to go over some of the case studies. And these are provided by our Smart Surfaces Coalition. The city has partnered with this group that is also made up of some members from the Texas Trees Foundation. The Nature Conservancy has also been intertwined into that group, and they are providing data for the city. And so many of the solutions that we have here, these nature-based solutions and other surfaces, are what has been recommended by this group, as well as studies that were done several years ago from a green stormwater infrastructure study by the Nature Conservancy, saying that these will help to get the results that we're looking for. So in the photo on the right, the parking lot, as you can see, is 160 degrees, albedo of 0.1, and albedo is the reflectivity. The higher the albedo number, the lower your temperature is going to be. The lower the albedo number or reflectivity of that surface, the higher the temperature is going to be. So that same parking lot, after cooled pavement coating was put on that surface, you get surface temperature reduction now, and it's at 125 degrees. And these are in Arizona. Then if you notice on the bottom, these are case studies for schools, and this was in Phoenix, and same thing, they had a dark asphalt paved parking lot at 209 degrees, and after cool paving, that was brought down to 135 degrees Fahrenheit. And if you'll notice, the cool pavement has two benefits, basically, that temperature reduction and the carbon savings. That's one reason why we have it at the 5% for the incentive and not the 10%, because it has two benefits. And we'll go on and see that some of the other surfaces have more benefits to them. So in this photo, this parking lot is 140 degrees as it was measured at that time. And you can see the existing conditions. There was some lawn area, some trees. But the paving was, the dark surface. So after permeable, lighter colored permeable paving or pavers were put in, that brought the temperature to 125 degrees. The bioswale area is at 105 degrees, so it's even lower. And then the PV canopy, which is your solar canopy over the parking areas, surface temperature is 118 degrees. So all the surfaces have different temperatures. And obviously what we're trying to do is reduce that temperature as much as possible. If you'll notice the photos at the bottom where you have the gravel and pea stone, and then the pipe, those handle stormwater reduction, but that's really the only benefit of those items. Whereas once you add in the bioswale, you get a lot more benefits. You get the temperature reduction, you get the stormwater runoff reduction, the carbon savings, and the power generation as well. I'm sorry, through the, that's with the PV canopies. Just with the bioswale alone, that's temperature reduction, stormwater runoff reduction, carbon savings, and biodiversity. So when you combine them all, obviously you get greater benefits. This was a rooftop, a conventional rooftop, 140 degrees. And in the photo on the right, once you put in that PV panel roof, that brought it down to 118 degrees. And then, of course, the greening factors, right? The vegetative extensive green roof, it's actually at 85.5 degrees. And then the blue roof, is 109 degrees. So again, we're, reducing the temperature of these surfaces, and these can be done. Of course, we're dealing only with parking areas, so this would be, these items would be eligible just for canopies in the parking lot over parking. Again, just another photo, another example, conventional roof, 140 degrees, blue roof at 109, and then this just really just the same, just a different roof. And then in this case study, this is the Philip Merrill Environmental Center, where they've combined a lot of different surfaces. You'll see the green roof, 85.5 degrees. They have cisterns also for water storage and other needs, and PV panel roof at 118 degrees. And again, you see all the benefits when they're all combined. This is actually, this is in Maryland, and it's supposed to be one of the world's most energy efficient buildings here. But again, all of these items can be applied in our parking areas as well. A local example, a research project was conducted by Dr. Fawad Jaber at the Texas A&M AgriLife Center. And he took in the clay soils, about 12 years ago, he did an experiment basically and excavated and put in a rain garden in that area you see on the left on that aerial in the green square. It's a fairly large area. And then he put the rain gardens or the bioretention in the parking, all through the parking areas as well, and reduced the runoff volume by 49% and reduced also the amount of pollutants that were concerned in that area. And, I've got the link to, you can read a lot more of that study if you'd like, but again, that's been, I just went there a couple of weeks ago and toured it. So these are the photos that I took, and I didn't take all the photos. He's got cisterns too that handle each of the buildings, that handle all the irrigation needs for that building as well. So our next steps, we'll forward the ZOAC recommendation on to the City Plan Commission, public hearing. at some point, I think in summer of this year. And then if necessary, I'm not sure we'll have to, but we may need to forward the CPC recommendation to the city council committee. I'm not sure yet. If we do, we will. And then either way, if we have to do that or not, we'll eventually forward the city council committee. We'll forward that recommendation on to city council probably in the fall of this year. With that, I would be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you for the presentation. So a couple questions here. How does staff see this interacting with, for example, smaller properties? So I saw the 50 and 40-foot examples, but what about neighborhoods such as, I guess, the bottom with a 20 or 25-foot width?
Sorry, I'm having a little trouble hearing, but I think we're asking about smaller lots.
Yes, smaller width lots with a 40% front yard.
Yes. We're keeping it the same. That percentage, it shouldn't matter. I mean, it's scalable. These items are scalable. We showed the example on the residential side where, it just gives you a different square footage to work with. But we think these are scalable. We're not treating the smaller lots any different than the larger lots.
Okay, and then with that in mind, is there any?
I'm sorry, except for the agricultural district and residential, I did forget that. I know I mentioned it earlier. But the percentage, the maximum impervious percentage is different, and that's at 30% for the agricultural, for the urban nature of those lots and larger setback.
Was there any consideration from staff for like a floor square footage, like say, I don't know, 200 square feet or some minimum allowed? Because I mean, some lots that are residential could be simply as wide as their driveway is. And so if we're trying to reduce runoff, I don't know if that was consideration, just better land use in general effectively reduces runoff. I don't know if that was a consideration.
I don't know if, Lori, did you mention the Board of Adjustment process?
Oh,
If it's like, okay.
My apologies. Yeah, so much information to give you. So, yes, both on the residential side and the non-residential side, we do have in the actual ordinance language in here that they can go to the Board of Adjustment because, yeah, there may be some circumstances, some hardships that would prevent them from being able to comply. We don't, you can't foresee everything there. So that is an out, if you will, if necessary, they can go to the Board of Adjustment.
And we propose that the standard would just be that of a special exception, not a variance. So they don't have to necessarily prove a property hardship if they need to go above whatever eventually moves forward, whatever percentage. And also I think that when Lori was doing her research, the 40% proposed for residential was pretty standard on the municipalities she looked at it. Some of them had some 50%. There were some 50% cities, but that's why we were kind of shooting on the more conservative end for the base and then allowing incentives in order to go kind of up to the upper threshold of what she saw. Also, like when we think about what we call like a ribbon driveway, where basically just the tire tracks are paved, it could really reduce that percentage and make it a lot easier, especially for the smaller lot situation. And
yeah, as could the concrete block driveways, and we're starting to see a lot of those as well.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, also follow up with Sarah was saying, the research was conducted on both the residential side and the non-residential side. So we're right in line with the percentages that 80 and 90% on the non-residential side is what we're seeing also in the other municipalities for non-residential. That's why we have those. You know, we did hear in our public listening section just last month, you know, we heard some voices saying, you know, go a little bit lower, meaning more, a little more restrictive. But, you know, we chose to just, for now, you know, leave that to your decision making. But we were trying to stay in line with the other municipalities.
Okay, one more and then I'm done. So just also, was there the staff factor in anything in terms of, I guess, transit or walkability proximity, going back to that kind of idea of that if the land use is favorable to less vehicular traffic or less or more pedestrian traffic in general, it is kind of inherently preserving land somewhere else by virtue of its design. Was that a consideration that we looked into? Oh, I'm trying not to speak too loud for you.
We didn't really for this because, again, the purpose of doing just the front, concentrating on just the front yards for residential, for instance, is there's many reasons, but you know, most of your impervious surfaces, you know, are your driveways, and not always. Sometimes they're in the back, in the rear of the property, and that's great. But the driveway, obviously, you know, is when that comes into play mainly for your impervious surfaces, but there's many options that you can do for driveways, and you can minimize that and have that flexibility. So we wanted to leave that flexibility, you know, to anyone who's not driving. And if they have transit, then, you know, they're going to easily achieve this because they're probably not going to have a driveway if they're not driving, or they're going to have a reduced driveway in this instance. But and then on the non-residential side, you know, again, we feel like it's fairly achievable, but you know, we assume that again, they're going to do a lot less parking if they're by transit. And so by nature of reducing that impervious surface, they're going to easily achieve these results. But again, we wanted to build in a lot of flexibility, but we wanted to also make sure that there weren't those loopholes and that we, you know, we did reduce those impervious surfaces to help meet our goals. And we kind of felt like this was a good balance, you know. And then having on the residential side, having it just in the front yard, it's very visible to the public. You've got the eyes on the street. Everyone can, you know, can easily see it. You've got the fairly simple calculation. All you have to know is the width of your lot and the front, what your front setback required is, and then just do that simple calculation. So, but again, yeah, if you know, there's examples all over the city where there's front yards in the residential neighborhood. You could tell, you know, there's not even a driveway in the front at all. You know, there's no parking spaces in the front at all. But again, we don't want to dictate. We want to leave all that flexibility in design and all those options. And we love that, you know, where there's very walkable neighborhoods, but that's public right of way. Again, the sidewalk, that doesn't come into play because that's public right of way. That's not factored into the calculation or the requirement at all.
Thank you. I have a couple of
And,
questions.
and then Ryan Baring following that. Thank you.
A couple of questions. Great presentation. I appreciate that. You mentioned throughout your presentation a few case studies where different materials are used. For example, cool paving. I think something else on the roof. Do you know whether these materials are readily available in Dallas?
Any in Dallas? I know we have them. I couldn't tell you exactly where they are.
Okay.
And the reason I say we have them is the Green Building Code, which mainly are requirements for buildings. that's one of the options for a building rooftop is the cool paving.
Okay.
Because they have to meet a certain amount of reflectivity. I just don't know off the top of my
Okay.
head where they are, but
Okay.
I know we have them.
Well, and so then connected to that, I'm curious about, you met with several industry associations. I'm curious to hear what their feedback was, and specifically also, did they see your recommended edits to section 51A and requirements?
I'm sorry, which one?
So I think you met with like the Dallas Builders Association, TRAC, and so forth. What was their feedback about your recommendations? And did they see your recommendations as you have them in the amendment to 51A?
Yes, thank you for that. They did see it. We met with them several times. We didn't really hear much feedback at all.
No pushback?
More questions. And so, you know, in fact, we pushed this meeting up a little bit because they asked us to give a little bit more time so that they could get what we were recommending to the membership. And we did, you know, we told them we wouldn't bring it forward. We agreed that we wouldn't bring it forward before mid-May. So, but we still
You just didn't hear back from them?
haven't.
Yeah, what I heard was that they just wanted some more time to think about it and digest it and share it. But we didn't ultimately hear thumbs up or down.
Do you think you'll hear from them before this goes to CPC, assuming it passes through here?
I would imagine.
Okay, I would hope so.
There were many opportunities.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Okay, that's it. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, I think Mr. Bering had a question.
How is staff thinking about this in relation to the timing of the parking ordinance? Is it possible that these are reviewed in tandem? I think, you know, it's pretty clear that the biggest culprit to impervious surfaces is parking area.
Mr.
So
Barron, we can't hear you.
Our comms people are all out of the office, and we've tried to figure out the speakers, but I think I heard, so let me see if I could translate. I think the question was, how are we considering these amendments in relation to the off-street parking code amendment? Is that what the question was? Okay. I
Yes.
was listening carefully. So I would say with that, we don't know exactly when we're going to be able to bring the off-street parking code amendment to CPC. We're waiting for them to fully have time to digest and consider the Forward Dallas recommendations. So once that all wraps up, we might give them a little month or so break to catch their breath. And then we might bring forward the parking code amendment. And I would imagine we might need to brief it a time or two to CPC before a vote, but maybe not. Maybe it's a special meeting. I don't really know what all that will turn out to be. We're going to focus on how to do that after Forward Dallas moves past CPC. And then we're taking everything in order. So then it'll be parking, and then it'll be the private game clubs. And then if this moves out of ZOAC, and that's the next item out of ZOAC, it'll go after that. So I don't want to put this before parking because I feel like it's backwards to say you have to provide a lot of parking, but we're going to limit your impervious surfaces. So however it turns out with the ultimate schedule, this would go after parking is voted on by CPC.
Okay, thank you. Can you hear me any better?
No,
Not
I think
much.
we just have a speaker through the
Oh,
projector
no.
system.
Well,
I can hear you some.
I do have two more questions if that's okay.
I can hear you.
All right. I'm curious about maintenance concerns. I know some design issues can get pretty technical, and received an email from a property owner. If allowed, I'd like to read like a 2-3 sentence quote here from them.
Would you mind if I summarize before you get there?
Yeah, I'm curious.
Okay.
Yeah, the maintenance concerns, if that was considered, and that's my question essentially.
Okay. So he said that he wanted to get some more information about how these materials are being maintained, and he received an email, and I think I shared it with the ZOAC members, but for the record, he wanted to read a couple of lines, and I'll repeat them for everybody in the audience that might be having trouble with our volume levels. Go ahead.
Thank you. Only with a very gently sloped lot can you use decomposed granite. Otherwise, the granite washes into the street and into the storm sewer system. Even aggregate of large diameter, like 1-inch crushed limestone, is subject to washing away in heavy rain. Aggregate develops potholes and rivulets that can make for treacherous footing and litigation risk. So again, big picture, just maintenance concerns were engineers or landscape architects met with, that kind of thing.
Okay, I will try to paraphrase. So the email noted that the small aggregate materials for impervious surfaces are best suited for gently sloping or flat sites. If they're more than 1 inch in diameter, they tend to roll off and run downhill, and so they're hard to maintain. And so the question is, have we had conversations with engineers and designers on maintenance concerns? Is that about right?
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. This is just the regulations. These are the regulations that give that percentage, that requirement, just like setbacks or lot coverage, etc. In fact, it's going in that section. Excuse me. It does not take the place of the design. We don't address that. We don't want to address that. We recognize we're not engineers. We're going to leave that in David Navarez and his group's very capable hands. Any materials now have to be approved by engineering. That won't change. They will still have to design it for the specifications, in the design manual and by the engineers. And maintenance, yes, we do have a paragraph in here that the surfaces have to be maintained. But that's any surface, that's concrete, that's asphalt, it doesn't matter what it is, it has to be maintained. So, we're not requiring anyone to do these materials at all. We're just giving the requirement for the percentage. These are ways to accomplish it. We know that these are the ways to do that. The materials, these alternative materials, pervious materials, there's various names, of course. They've been out there for many, many years now. They've been proven that they do work, they can work. And so not every material is, the best for every scenario. But they're all over. I mean, they're being used all over the country. They're being used here. They just have to be designed appropriately. So
Okay,
I would
Mr.
just say, in the natural solutions, we welcome those more, even more so. And that's why they carry a little bit more weight here, because again, they offer many, many more benefits. And so this just, it gives a range of options available. And, I mean, there's even materials now, and I know in the case of Florida have a lot of resources and a lot of different resources in here, and some of them are on materials, and some of them actually now are being utilized for fire lanes, and they can handle that heavy truck traffic in that way. So, they're.
So I think
I think
Mr. Bering had another question. When we have a number of, I think we have other questions. Let's keep moving here, Mr. Bering.
So in summary, it sounds like the ordinance addresses percentages, but not requiring certain materials. Is that right?
He said, so it sounds like the ordinance is addressing percentages, but not necessarily the requirements of the materials.
Exactly.
Is that
That's it.
right?
Okay,
That is
Yeah.
thank you.
correct.
Did you have one more question, Mr. Berry?
Yes, yes, just briefly. Is Michael Wade in the room? Not sure.
He is not feeling well today.
Okay, okay. I had some previous conversation with him about limiting curb cuts. You showed a picture of, townhomes with almost 100% driveway. Just curious where, there's a lot of factors that go into limiting impervious surface, and curious where that conversation is at.
So he said that he had a discussion with Mr. Wade about curb cuts and how some townhouses have almost 100% curb cut. And he was wondering if that had, I'm sorry, what was the end of the question?
Right. Is that going to be folded into another conversation, or obviously that ties into limiting pervious surface here? Just an update on.
Okay, he was
on
asking
that.
if that's going to be folded into this amendment or any other amendment. And I'd say, from my discussions with the people in the transportation department, which include also Mr. Navarez, the design of curb cuts and their frequency and all that, very deep in the transportation realm of the codes instead of land use that we do in zoning. So I think that there could be some opportunities in the driveway handbook. What is it? Off-street parking driveway handbook manual thing that transportation does. They might have some. It might be the more appropriate place to be more thoughtful about proximity and frequency and size of driveway width rather than in development codes.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right. I believe Mr. Rubin had some questions.
I have a few questions, and I'll try to be as efficient as possible here. The parkway streets in the Complete Streets Manual, is it fair to say that the purpose of those is to prevent water pollution by runoff into sensitive watersheds?
Yes, thank you for the question, Commissioner Rubin.
Okay. And I guess my question is, I also hear concern about, flooding and things like that from, these impervious surfaces. Is there a way through these code amendments to get at other streets that maybe, need to trigger similar lower impervious surface requirements other than parkway streets, like bake in a requirement if the Complete Streets Plan were to introduce a new street type, let's just say flood sensitive or something like that, that we could similarly drop the max impervious surface down to 60 as opposed to 80.
So just for Lori, so she can help me. I think he's asking if there's alternatives to the Parkway Street. And I don't know, I suppose maybe we could look at like the flood map and there could be a condition if, the impervious surface is within or abutting, 100-year floodplain or 500-year, probably 100 years, more extreme. That could be a consideration, but I know that from experience, I've heard some of our civil engineers and development services note that the FEMA floodplain maps are kind of hard to keep up with.
Yeah.
And so I think we didn't really want to go that route just because it changes pretty frequently, and I think we had some concerns on that.
And I'm not even suggesting that we address a category that exists in the Complete Streets Map today, but potentially refer to a category that could be created in the future, and that there could be a,
Yeah, I would say, a few things. One, that the Complete Streets Manual, it's as amended, so that can get amended over time. But, if you'll notice, even in those watershed areas, there is just a small section in like for Bachman Lake, just a small section of a Parkway Street. So it really, I think it's already following the floodplain and floodway. But that's all we seem to have right now for identifiable critical watersheds where it's flood prone. So that's why we tied it to those streets. And then, of course, BDA, they can go to BDA if they're on a Parkway Street, and go that route as well.
Okay. Thanks, that's helpful. I have another question about parking structures. So I understand that if you have a surface parking lot in a commercial development, moving forward, you need to have no more than 80% impervious. But if you build on that same area a 2-story parking structure, it can be entirely impervious, right?
And any underground parking and parking garages are not included in this. They're exempted, basically.
Was there any thought given to when there's a above ground parking structure, and I'm going to say most below ground parking structures seem to be beneath buildings, not always, but to some extent. But let's just keep this to above ground for right now. Was there any thought given to requiring nearby permeable open space to kind of get at the same goal that we have for surface parking lots and the proposed ordinance?
I think we did talk about that at one time, but again, just recognizing that the parking areas, surface parking, is really the biggest driver of the impervious surface, and was recommended again by our GSI study that it basically we're saying that's the biggest bang for your buck, because that's where a lot of the runoff is coming from, is that surface area, that large surface area.
And I was just also going to note, whenever we were setting this, we really had to, especially when we were adding in the non-residential piece, in all of most of our non-residential zoning districts, they're allowed 80% lot coverage. And so we really wrestled with, like, do we do this based on the lot? Do we, when they already have 80% lot coverage, or is there a better way to do it? So, as Lori mentioned, we did focus on the surface parking lot, since obviously it would be easier for water to go through portions of the parking area. But, when it's a solid building, there's not a whole lot of opportunities to get water to the ground level surface underneath the building, from those areas.
And that may be more Article 10. I don't, I know there are some requirements, obviously, in the landscape ordinance.
Thanks. All right, a couple more questions, and I'll try to be quick. On the NSOs, I understand why you would allow an NSO to decrease the amount of impervious surface above whatever's in the base code. Why would you allow an NSO to increase the permissible amount of impervious surface in the front yard?
Again, it's just by nature of the neighborhood stabilization overlay, they have different requirements, based on their neighborhood needs. I don't know if they would do that, but maybe the character of their neighborhood or something, would be driving that. I don't know, but we just want to give them the flexibility that they can modify their setbacks, right now. So, and they have to stay within a range of that setback. So, they may have the need, we would hope it would go the other direction, but yeah.
Did any neighborhood with an NSO or a neighborhood interested in an NSO express a desire to be able to increase the amount of impervious surface above the base in the front yard setback?
No, not to necessarily increase. They did though want to see the flexibility to where they can modify and have modify it. Now, maybe they'll go the other direction. I don't know, but they did want some flexibility, since they have the flexibility flexibility with their setbacks anyway.
Any comments from anyone wanting that flexibility to be able to increase impervious surface in the front yard setback?
I would say like similar to the small lot development that we've heard, you know, it could be a situation where we have a lot of small or really narrow lots that might need to maybe exceed that 40% or 50% if it's a small lot development,
Okay.
maybe with the neighborhood. I don't know. There's a small chance.
Okay.
A possibility.
All right. Thanks for letting me poke at that. Last question, PDs. What does a PD need to say to have these provisions incorporated if they got adopted?
So the way Lori was structuring them is they would live within each base zoning district as a percentage, very similar to how lot coverage is, you know, addressed in all of our base zoning districts, with a kind of a companion section later on in our division 4.400, where the rest of the yard lot space regulations are in the code. So PDs normally say, except as provided in this subsection, the yard lot and space requirements in 4.400 apply. And then from there, the PD could then just say, you know, the maximum or the minimum front yard setback is X. And so for our existing PDs, if they refer to a base zoning district without modifying impervious surface requirements, then it would apply.
So let's just say we have a PD in a residential area that, I don't know, tweaks the front yard setback by 5 feet in either direction, but it's silent as to impervious surface in the front yard setback. Would this code amendment apply to limit the amount of impervious surface?
It would.
Would, yes.
Yes, it
Okay,
would.
great. Thank you.
Yes. And on page 35, in the case report, these percentages would just be plugged right into the schedule of yard lot and space regulations for all the districts.
Okay, I see no other questions. I'm going to ask one brief question, and then I would like to go to the folks that have come here to speak to us before I maybe wrap with some other comments. But on the residential portion, I was under the impression that ribbon driveways were not allowed in the city of Dallas. Are they allowed currently?
That could be a question for David Neverez, but I think, I mean, we have them all over.
Well, I know we have them all over from just legacy conditions, but I mean, if you went in today, could you get a permit on a ribbon driveway?
David Navarez, are you able to join us?
He's on.
He's online.
Because that's the only way that some of these math problems are going to work, in my opinion, especially as Mr. Carden pointed out on these really extremely narrow lots. And the diagrams that Mr. Raines did, which are very nice, but presumed a 15-foot driveway in one or two of the examples, well, that's inadequate for a two-car garage. You know, so I'd like to know if ribbon driveways are allowed today.
And that's a fair question. You know, that is for our transportation department. Hopefully David can join us, but I think just, you know, the parking has to be on the improved surface. So I would think the wheels would just have to be on that improved surface. I mean, I know they can't park in the grass, so
I know that in the public right-of-way portion for the apron, it would need to be solid. But maybe it can go.
Okay, well, I'll hold on that. Maybe we can get some information on that. And then I just generally have some concerns on the non-residential about the 80% and especially the 60% for the reasons enumerated in the email that Mr. Bering forwarded to us, which is just simply operations and maintenance. You know, I practice in the commercial sector, and I mean, these are important issues to consider, and in particular, in light of the fact that we've got highly expansive soils in this area, and so that tends to accentuate the amount of movement in the soil and the kind of the hardship on the paving. So
I understand. Again, they have other options. I mean, they can do more green, they can do pervious concrete. I mean, there are other options.
I understand, but more green doesn't solve the problem, really. Picking it up another 10% doesn't really solve the problem, so. If it's all right, I'd kind of like to, we've got a couple of folks who've been waiting very patiently here to speak to us. I assume they wish to speak. I don't think we're that entertaining just to come down and listen. So would either of the two folks in our audience like to speak to us this morning? Okay, questions for the speaker? Mr.
Sir, I
Rubin?
just have a quick question. I'm a little baffled. Why would someone cover a lot with concrete from corner to corner? I mean, concrete isn't cheap to put down. Do you have any idea what the heck the developer was thinking there? Thank you.
Any other questions for our speaker? I think he did not turn his mic on, but anyway, thank you very much. Any other speakers this morning present or online? I've got a couple other questions, but maybe we'll get your read on this. Oh, so we'll restate my question. Good morning, Mr. Navarez. So as you know, we're talking about pervious and impervious cover, and the question being, are ribbon driveways allowed on residential uses in this city?
Good morning, members. I've been listening this whole time. For some reason, the audio wasn't working when I tried to attempt getting back to you. We don't have a ribbon design in our manual. And in the last 7 years with the city, I haven't seen a single one come through. I know I'm not answering your question because why hasn't it been brought up to our attention before? I guess that'd be my question. Why isn't it an option? I would say, often what we tell developers and designers, if it's not prohibited, we can work with them. If there is no standard that says that it's prohibited, then it's definitely something that we would more than certainly work with today. I know exactly what it looks like, and I can't think of why we haven't seen, but you know why? Because perhaps it's the way that developers work these days, and we see either all or none. We don't see developers coming in designing driveways. We see them. Please excuse me. I'm not answering your question. I'm thinking of why we don't see it. The answer is, sir, no, it's not it's a design that we don't have standards for, and therefore I'm certain that we would allow them. If a developer or a property owner came in, I know the word developers makes it sound like someone, building a skyrise, but if a property owner came in requesting a ribbon driveway, we would certainly work with them in their design, especially because it's private property. So it'd be 100% theirs to maintain and all that.
Okay, well, thank you.
Maybe the arborist can weigh in as well, because have you seen a design that shows of a subdivision that shows ribbon driveways or anything that doesn't look like a concrete?
We're talking, excuse me, that's Bill Irwin here, Chief Arborist. If we're talking about residential, I would never even look at a review for that on a property. So I had no idea.
Okay, well, we'll put a pin in that for a moment. I want to go back to the non-residential, and is the question of helping the builder community and developer community understand what paving systems might be allowed and what aren't allowed, and how do we, what specific measurable or specification are we looking at here? I'm sure some sort of percolation rate or absorption rate that would be the standard by which we would accept or deny a material. I don't see that in the language. It seems like that would want to be in there.
Yeah, David, we left the engineering out. We're strictly concentrating on the regulations here, knowing that, your transportation, they still have to follow the processes and the design. So, but I think they have specific questions about the design.
And I would add, I know that for the Plato manual, the alternative materials for parking other than concrete and asphalt, on all the subgrade requirements, they require like a 95% compaction rate And so even when they do use gravel or some grasscrete or pavers, the specifications in the code is that they have a very high compaction of the subgrade so that the soils, the clay soils that we have, can be compacted to a thing to reduce the
Right,
amount
and
of
that's in direct
undulation.
conflict with what we're trying to do here.
Right, which is why we have compacted soils as a type of impervious surface.
Right, but that's going the other way. And so
Right.
more on that. I'm going to let Mr. Rubin.
I'll just put the lawyer hat on and poke at this language a little bit. Impervious surface means a surface that prevents or impedes water from recharging groundwater. I think water might be it. Is water a typo there? Wait. Impervious surface means a surface that prevents or impedes water from recharging groundwater. No, never mind, I'm reading it right now. I guess 90% compacted soil or gravel would definitely impede water from recharging groundwater, right? If you get to 80%, would that still impede recharge? 70%, like at what point is recharge impeded by a particular material? I understand the design, we're any of us are engineers around this pseudo horseshoe, but do we need some sort of definition that gives a little bit more certainty to folks who are needing to determine whether something is impervious or
That was my point exactly.
That is why we kept that out of the definition, because it's almost impossible. That's the engineering part. And so, again, we can't approve those materials. We can't say this is definitely approved. Just like the concrete that they want to pour, we can't say if that's, approved or not. That's up to engineering.
No, that's not what we're saying. We're not saying approve a material. We're saying a performance specification. And you're saying that you're going to have to go someplace else in the city code to find that?
But they do now.
Yeah. If I may speak about how we do our review of drainage. And so when we study private development, what we care about is how water is falling down from the sky and then spreading out to different places. And it's not complicated. It's actually, we just use a rates. And so if it's concrete, it's a coefficient of 0.97. And then all those numbers are multiplied times 9.7. That's how much water is flowing in one direction. If it's asphalt, it's 9.3. And so that means that water is flowing at a rate of whatever flow times 0.93, so slightly less. And that has to do with picture concrete having coarser material, and therefore, because of the additional surface area, it's able to evaporate faster than if it was just this smooth surface, right? So we use those coefficients, and not because we believe that there's a scientific approach, but rather because there's a table that tells us if it's this material, use this coefficient. If it's this material, use this coefficient.
So I would be satisfied if we could just say your coefficient has to be, 0.5 or less, or 0.7 or less, or whatever. And so we're reading all this material, and there's the reader gets no information about where that line is. Why can't we put that in this ordinance?
I would say then my next step is, and what I was trying to say is, that one of the reasons why impermeability complicates our review, or permeability complicates our review, is because we don't have those coefficients for anything other than concrete and asphalt. And so the design engineer, with all their ethical and professional background, they come in and they say, well, David, I think it's a 0.6. And 0.6 happens to run perfectly with their numbers. And we say, well, can we use 0.7? Well, 0.7 discharges them an amount that would require an enormous amount of work downstream, David. I think we should use 0.7. And they say, well, David, I think it's 0.6. And we get to a point where we don't have anyone to come to the table and say, well, we agree with the engineer who's designing this. Our name is not on those plans, it's the engineer of record. And yet, who will the neighbor next door come back to complain about water coming into their property? It's the city. And so therefore we really, really, really need some number to work with. And without that, the engineer of record will always side with a number that
It'll just be a negotiation, and it will slow down the process, and there'll be conflict and uncertainty.
Yes.
And our reputation as being a difficult city to get a permit in will not be improved.
Because David said 0.7 and the engineer of
Okay.
records keep saying 0.6.
Ms. Blair has a question. I'd like to get to her.
And I think my question is still along that line. I have a lot of area that is parking lots. And when you look at the inland port, it's nothing but a heat source waiting to happen. And when I'm reading page 31 and 32, number 8, incentivizing sustainable solution for pervious surface for not, it does not, as I read this, it does not incentivize undoing the heat source or including something that greens up that area. So my question is, how is this section, or can this be reconsidered so that when you look at the inland port, it's not a complete 200-degree heat source that we can't do anything with? I don't know if that's design standards. I don't know if it's definitions. I don't know if that means a rewrite of this section that puts more weight on environmental friendlier type of development standards. I don't know. Can you help me?
Ms. Blair, are you talking about existing facility? You're talking about new facilities? Okay.
We still have a lot of area out there, Chair, that can be developed. But is there any hope to put standards around those developments that does not incentivize the heat factor, but desensitize those opportunities?
Well, I think that's what the proposal we have in front of us is doing.
That's what I'm.
I apologize because I have to go for a meeting in your district, ma'am. So I'm late for a meeting, but I want to clarify though that in what I was trying to say is we fully support the efforts that are being brought to the table. One, because we don't have a way to limit how much asphalt or concrete is being poured out there. There is nothing that says, oh, we think that your parking lot is too big. There is no such conversation at permitting. And so I would highly recommend that we focus on what is that maximum amount of concrete that we're allowing. And then the remaining part, what is left to be permeable, I'm very thankful for all of the research that has been done. I think that it needs to be provided as a guidance to applicants so that they can choose from, and then let it be a conversation at permitting on what they can do and work with, so long as they know that they've been capped at a certain amount of the concrete portion. What remains, I think that we've been doing it so far, and I stand corrected. My colleague Jennifer behind y'all, corrected me to say that we actually have CDs, conservation districts, that have requirements for ribbon driveways. In fact, so they're out there. Yes, they're out there.
That's a conservation district, which is a very special example. And I just in your rank and file ordinary subdivision, I've not seen anyone permit anything like that in my lifetime.
Can I ask one super
it's
quick
happening
follow-up
now.
question for him? You say limiting concrete, Mr. Tavares. Do you mean concrete and asphalt, or just concrete?
Impermeable surface.
Okay.
Impermeable surface.
Thanks.
Materials will change. I mean,
What you basically told me is no luck. What the bottom line is there's no luck in the way this is written to de-incentivize a mass. Okay, okay, so then my question is, in this document, is there a way to write in here that the recommendation is to cap it? And if so, what does that cap look like?
Well, it's
Yeah,
80%.
Right.
The maximums are the cap, and
What you're saying is with that 80%, you still have a higher heat level. So is there a way to balance some of that with a higher level of a higher level of green, of Article 10, or so that you don't drive into an area that is substantially higher in heat than the rest of the city?
well, again, all of the incentives are pretty much doing that, whether it be that they use the cool surface that's going to bring the heat way down. And we've put.
I'm sorry. Then you have to write. So then we can't have a by right. So you can't say if you are in this zoning classification, then you have to do these. There's nothing built in that says that if you're in a classification that allows a big parking lot, that it's already 80% lot coverage. There is nothing that says that in that classification, if it's a major parking or just a parking lot, then you need to do anything to lower the heat temperature of that particular development. And my question is, how do we undo that? Or is there a way, and I look at Mr. Irwin over there, he's just giggling and laughing at me.
Well, Ms. Blair, I'm gonna speculate as to an answer based on a conversation I had with Ms. May before this meeting about various items that are yet to come to us here at ZOAC, one of which is commercial motor vehicle parking. And I would imagine that should we address commercial motor vehicle parking, that would be your day to talk about other requirements that could be overlaid onto maybe some of the things we're talking about today. But when you've got, X square feet of commercial vehicle parking or X acreage or whatever, and I would think that would be, if I understand your question, I think that's what
You are understanding my question. Then do we hold this off like we do? And you're saying,
well, I think to me, that's a special condition. This is what we're dealing with here today is much more broad.
Okay. Thank you.
In that we would then address the special condition. I mean, and now Ms. May, help straighten me out here if I'm misunderstanding what we're going to do with commercial motor vehicle parking.
Well, the plan is not to address commercial motor vehicle parking specifically, but if a property wanted to put crushed concrete out over their 10-acre lot, and perhaps they're using it to park trucks, perhaps they're just really like crushed concrete, who knows? Since that will compact the soil, and they must compact the soil, that area is going to be considered impervious surface. And since that area is considered impervious surface, it will be limited in how much can be compacted. It would trigger landscaping requirements for Article 10 for the whole area that's being, compacted and used for this crushed concrete and everything. So it's not going to be today's standards where they are exempt from any landscaping standards. They kind of have free reign and they're really hard to catch. It's going to be, with the proposal, there will be standards, there will be requirements that they have to meet, and it's not just a loophole that it currently is.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. Mr. Carden has a question.
Just to clarify, because we're talking a lot about parking and impervious surfaces, and a roof is typically an impervious surface. On non-residential, are we saying that's 80% or whatever threshold is only factoring in the parking lot? And if so, how do we define parking lot? Like, is a tree that's adjacent to my parking lot also part of the parking lot? Is that can get a little bit ambiguous?
You've been looking at my notes, Mr. Carden.
Yeah, there is applicability in here. I don't have the page number in front of me, but it's including drive aisles, maneuvering aisles, the handicap areas, as well as immediately adjacent landscape areas to that parking area. So it's parking, the drive aisles, all of those are in there, included in the applicability. So that's how we're delineating the parking.
Right, and since Article 10 already has requirements for parking lot trees, often street buffer zones, residential adjacency buffer zones, if those areas are abutting the surface parking area, then they also get included in that calculation of area. So, you know, a to code parking lot right now does have some degree of permeable surface in the proposal, you know. So I don't know what that percentage is, but our parking lots today are not 100% impervious. If that makes sense. If they're compliant with Article 10.
I guess with that in mind, was there a reason we didn't just go look at the entire lot as a whole, so people don't try to make loopholes here and there about what is and what isn't part of the landscape buffer, where the line between parking lot and just a field begins and ends?
And I think the answer to why we didn't look at the whole lot is because in our non-residential zoning districts, they're typically allowed 80% lot coverage. And so there wasn't much room for us to try to encourage more permeability. If we're looking at the whole lot as 80%, then that could really, you know, still produce a very solid parking lot. If, you know, that we wouldn't be able to treat more uniquely than just looking at the surface parking lot area.
It's easier.
That was a long answer. Yeah, maybe you could word that better.
Yeah, it's the most contributing factor, I guess, of the impervious surface. And we wanted to leave the flexibility in the design of the rest of the site where it's easily achievable in the parking areas, because they do have the landscaping requirements anyway. And again, we don't know what that percentage is now with the landscape ordinance, but it looks like it could be close. I mean, it could be that they just need a little bit more and then they get to the 80%. But again, the main thing here, we're concentrating on the areas that are called out that align with our plans, that, you know, all these studies that have been done for us from these other agencies, our partners, are saying that's where you're going to get the biggest results, you know, biggest bang for the buck. It's easily achievable. There's all these options out there that can address it, and you know, and yet they still have the flexibility in design. They have the creativity. We don't want to stifle that, and we don't want to be too heavy-handed. That's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to strike that balance of just getting that heat down, you know, handling the runoff, decreasing the flooding, and allowing the property owners, whether it be residential or otherwise, the freedom to develop their properties to fit their needs and as they wish.
So I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mr. Carden.
Just last one, just to understand, I think for, you know, Ms. Blair, on the there are some uses that are particularly prone to fully utilizing their surface parking and their lot utilization. And our large warehouses are quite prone to that, to be frank. If they're going to say, okay, there you had a system in there where someone can get an extra 5% or 10%, is there something to look at it, maybe adding a tier where they get above, say, 60% for certain particularly prone uses that are known, that are expected to kind of use that full area, to say, hey, if we're going to go all the way up to 80, prioritize reducing the heat island effect where people actually experience it. Because the way I look at it, I would say, I'll plant some trees and some dead space in the back of my property where technically I have satisfied this requirement, but the people who might actually try to walk to their warehouse or wherever, the heat island they experience is still hot as all get out. So is there something that, that could be considered?
I'm sorry, I want to make sure I understand. Are you worried about the balancing of where they're going to put it? Is that kind of?
Yeah, so the positioning of where, if you're going to mitigate heat island effect, I would assume the preference would be to mitigate it where people experience it the most. So think sidewalks, the front yard, and so on. And the other part of that is that there are some uses that are particularly prone today to utilizing all the way up to the 80% or 90%. For those uses, does it make sense to say, looking at a second tier of, you have that 5 to 10% bonus, but a second tier, maybe not as intensive, but just a, hey, if you're going to start mitigating, prioritize the positioning of where you're mitigating versus just mitigate it in some off corner somewhere.
I think, we are happy to do more research and look into those things. If we can get direction from ZOAC and that's what the roads you want us to go down. I would note that, what I mentioned before, that there is a, Article 10 requirements for parking lot trees and stuff like that. I think the way it's worded is that a tree has to be provided within 70 feet of a parking space. And so I think part of the way that a lot of warehousing type uses, the reason why they're so expansive is because that loading area and the places where all the trucks are maneuvering and everything, there is no parking space over there. So there's no trees there. So I think to look at it as a overall area and space will help address some of those, clustering and expansive impervious areas.
Can I just, I'm sorry to interject, but on that path, and I know you said that this is going to be a major area of consideration and when we start talking about, but if we're going to address, to go along with what Mr. Carden is saying is, if we're looking at this, and yes, in those parking lots, there are multiple times when we do see parking and there isn't any Article 10 application within that 70-foot period. So is there a way to require it? And when you're looking at non-residential areas that say that all application must have this Article 10 within 70 feet of a parking space.
When we're talking about parking spaces, we're usually not talking about commercial vehicle storage or parking of that sort. So we have vast amounts of space in a location like where trucks are parking, but there is no trees. And there's also maybe residential adjacency, so there's no buffer along the side, so they expand to the edge of the property. So it's just a matter of trying to determine if you need to amend ordinance to address that type of use. But that's a difficulty because there's a reason they took 10 acres to try to maneuver vehicles in a large space. Trees will be in the way, in the middle of that. So it's a matter of design and the realities of operating that facility.
I'm getting close to being done. Mr. Carden, you didn't raise your question. And then Mr. Baring, Mr. Reeves, I don't see any hands raised. You guys okay? All right. Well, I'm going to summarize kind of where I am, and then I think maybe ask for a motion perhaps. But I would like to have seen some more industry response. Doesn't seem like we've gotten much yet. I really feel like we need a performance spec, whether it's in this ordinance or whether it's in an engineering manual. We need to be able to state what this, the pervious material, how it needs to perform. And so does that equate to Mr. Navarro's coefficients? What's the number? So we know. So we're not arguing over what's pervious or not. I've got reservations about moving to the 60% on Parkway streets. I mean, I understand the motivation, I understand the concept, but I just think it could potentially create a real hardship for commercial development and just be challenging. I'd like to know that ribbon driveways are absolutely allowed, that there's some sort of standards for them, that we're ready to do that. I think the conversation in the last couple of moments about industrial warehousing particular, and what that thing, trying to think in my mind what that looks like, because you've got large expanses of paving uninterrupted by trees. And so how do they get to the 20% pervious? And that industry is going to push back hard because they need compacted subgrade. They need a lot of concrete because these are very, very heavy vehicles. And so what does it look like if all of a sudden we're asking for pervious material in the midst of, not sure I know. So those are some of the things that are still questions in my mind. So.
Mr. Chair, may I add one more?
Okay, Mr.
One thing I didn't really ask about, but it's been in my mind as I just heard the conversation going on, is perhaps there should be exceptions for properties where the slope of the land would not really allow the limitation on the coverage, because you need concrete sometimes to.
That's a good, slope.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
please. Thank you.
Just two thoughts. One, having been on CPC for a while, I recognize how important it is that we get feedback from affected stakeholders, including the development community and things like that. I've also seen code amendments that have come to us where it seems like various stakeholders wait until it gets all the way to council or to CPC to provide that feedback. It sounds like staff has done a good job of reaching out so far to a lot of the industry stakeholders. I would just maybe encourage them to provide that feedback sooner rather than later, because I think it has been handled appropriately thus far, but let's encourage them to get that feedback in now as opposed to later. On the performance spec piece, I still don't know where I fall on that. I understand that it would be good to have some certainty. I understand it also might be difficult for this body and CPC and council to develop it. So I would like to see what other cities have done on how they define impervious surface. It may have been in the report, but I'm just not remembering it in there right now. So if we could add that piece, if it's not in there, or if you could call my attention to it if I'm forgetting it, that would be great.
I'm sorry, could you just clarify about the other cities? I have the percentages in the staff report.
Oh, I'm not talking about the percent, sorry, not percentages of impervious surface that they allow. But how they define the term impervious surface in other jurisdictions, whether that's through some sort of coefficient or just plain language.
I do have that in the presentation in the back, but I don't know if you want to see it now.
Oh, I don't need to see it now. If you could just shoot that to me, your presentation to me, if it hasn't been circulated already.
Yeah, I will second Mr. Rubin's remark that, yes, I think staff's done a nice job of trying to get the sort of input we're looking for. I would like to have seen more, and I don't think I would hold this up for that, certainly not today, but I suspect we'll get that input further down the process. But I think having a more clear definition of what is a pervious material. Mr. Reeves has a question.
Yes, I was just curious because one of the things that mentioned in the report is reflective light colored cool paving for off-street parking lots and pedestrian pathways. So I guess what is the cost factor of that? If we have this monstrous inland port parking lot and it's blacktop, that costs a certain amount, concrete costs a certain amount. What does some of these reflective add to that cost? Because if it's a couple dollars, then that's kind of a no-brainer to be able to get these surfaces that these heavy trucks need to park on. If it's 3 times more expensive, then that's a different decision. And I have no idea the cost ratios on that. So, and I know you probably can't get an exact estimate, but just ballpark would help me.
I don't think we can get into that, Mr. Reeves, and I wouldn't want to venture a guess. And furthermore, I think today's discussion really focuses on stormwater runoff and less about. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
I think when I talked to Lori about similar questions earlier, the cool pavement is almost just like a special paint coating. It's like they paint the parking lot with a paint.
More or less, yeah. It's it's a coating mixed with you could do it for concrete or asphalt, and so it's a coating. Basically, that's yes. If you have an existing parking lot that's asphalt or concrete now, you can put the appropriate coating, cool pavement coating over it. If not, you can, lay it in place.
Yeah, and I do realize that we're talking about stormwater here, but that option is in our staff report as something to reduce some of those impervious surfaces. So that's why I'm kind of bringing that up.
Yeah, and there's a lot of really helpful information, I think, in the Smart Surfaces link that's in the resources page of the code amendment.
Yes, there's a lot of resources in the back of the packet. But yes, the Smart Services Guide is where a lot of the case study, where the case studies were taken from. And so it has a lot of information there. But I've also, I believe I've put in there, because they don't go through, they'll tell you the name of, the cool pavement company and where it was done, but they don't go into, I pulled up the cool pavement materials on the website, and I have put that in the packet, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, it's interesting. It, just tells you about the materials basically.
Okay, thank you.
Going out on a limb here, I think we may have a motion from.
I'll make a motion. So on the matter of file number. Oh,
But we can be official, can't we?
can we put the the summary of the things that we're asking for, put them on the record.
Yeah, so Mr. McGregor, wait. Okay, so I guess it's simply a request to hold for the following reasons then, right?
Exactly. So the list of items that we have are to look further into the impact of a slope and whether or not there should be exceptions for certain slopes on property for these requirements. Also to look at the performance standards or some indication of permeability or impermeability. Reconsider the requirement on parkway streets to determine whether or not there is an issue or a limitation on designing and building ribbon driveways, and also to gather more information on the impact of warehouses and industrial properties. And did we also want to make sure that we have more feedback from the industry, the Dallas Builders Association and such, or is that going to come ahead? Right. Okay, so that's going to happen anyway. Okay. Thank you.
Got that? Makes sense. Okay. Well, appreciate the good work so far. I mean, I'd like to find a way to, to adopt much of this. I think it's good, and for all the reasons you've enumerated, I just think we need to make sure we understand any unintended consequences, or just sort out some of the details that we've got questions about. But if there are no further comments or questions, I think we stand adjourned today. I don't see any. At 11 o'clock, we will adjourn our ZOAC meeting. Thank you all. Thank you, committee members and staff.